Hi everybody, and happy Cinco de Mayo. Have a margarita for me. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to have any as I'm here working late for you. Today I want to talk about financial planning, budgeting, and other aspects or problems that we see with the individual investor, prospective client that comes into our office. And this is, if you're not in our industry, it's so often you just don't know what you don't know. You don't know what's out there. You don't know how to judge if a person is a good financial planner, if they're bad, if they're indifferent, or whatever. So do your best research to look up if someone is, does have the credentials, does have the experience, and don't necessarily judge strictly based off what you hear. A great story that I'll tell you that my current CFP teacher, who we're doing a case study in financial planning right now, tells is that his mother, who doesn't really know anything about financial planning, according to him, would go to these seminars that investment advisors or insurance salesmen put on. I mean, we've even put them on ourselves over time. And that his mother would bring him back the materials that she gathered from the investment or the seminar, what have you. And almost every time where he saw the material and would say, "Oh, this is terrible. This is just absolute garbage. They're just trying to sell you a product. They don't have your best interest in mind." The mother would say, "Well, he was such a he was such a good guy, or he was such a good girl. They really just had a great personality. I liked him so much." And then the opposite was true. The mother brought back something, and the advisor, the son, would say, "Well, this looks pretty good here. I mean, I might do things a little different, but this is pretty solid advice." Almost every time, the mother would say, "Well, he just didn't have a great personality, or it just didn't mesh." So it's hard. So be wary of that, and know that it's it's not just what you see and what you feel, because it's not ultimately you want to have a good relationship with the person you're across the table from, but you want to make sure that the advice they're giving is objective and competent, and that they're sitting on the same side of the table as you. One just quick piece of information I'll give is when talking about budgeting. If you are coming up with yourself a budget, it's all about what do you actually take home. Calculating that in. If you're making $500,000 a year and you're paying taxes, what at the end of the day, especially if you're a business owner, what at the end of the day is your taxable income minus what you've saved in your retirement accounts? What do you spend and what's left over? And maybe it's not necessarily line iteming a budget, but coming up with a savings goal so you can have that discipline. I'm going to save $15,000 a month. I'm going to save $5,000 a month. Whatever it is that's appropriate for you and your income, having the discipline to stick with that. Then at the end of the year, you see, well, I've got this much left over, so I could say I'm going to try to save a little more next year, and factoring that in to your personal financial plan. Call us with any questions, 770-984-2312, 770-984-2312.